And the pH goes to 5, there's no more somatostatin, but there's increased acetylcholine and G-cell.
Exactly. Because what's stimulating me, the vagal
Tone.
From the fear.
I know. I was going to say the word vagal tone, but I stopped. Well, you finish it for me. Vagal tone is in your heart. Don't ever say that again.
Oh yeah, vagal stimulation.
That was
cool.
me.
Oh, I'm mean as hell. I say I'm going to punch you in the face so you don't do it again. Don't ever say vagal tone. It was so funny. I was going to say it, but I stopped and she finished it. It's okay though. So vagal stimulation is doing it, right? When we said vagal stimulation, is that sympathetic or parasympathetic? Parasympathetic. Why? We have acetylcholine. Because if I release norepinephrine, what am I doing? I'm saying no, don't do anything. Go ahead.
When you have an increased pH, what happens?
I'm sorry?
When the pH is increased?
So I have pH of 2.
Okay.
I have increased pH of 5.
Yeah.
I have food in my tummy.
Right.
I have food in my tummy. What do I want to do with food in my tummy?
Digest it.
I want to break it down.
Right.
Do I want to initiate somatostatin or gastrin?
Gastrin.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
It's very simple. That's why it doesn't make sense. Just say it to yourself.
Oh, okay.
Somatostatin goes down, gastrin goes up.
Right. Increase ACTH, increase G cells, no more B cells, increase somatostatin.
Got it. Okay.
It's very simple. Again, if it doesn't make sense, just read it over. You'll be fine. Ghrelin, it stimulates appetite. This is Rose's thing. Ghrelin stimulates appetite at the level of the hypothalamus. So stomach releases hormone in the endocrine fashion, goes away all the way back to your hypothalamus, and it tells your hypothalamus that I need to eat.
Because it's like the brain center, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it just means that. So I need less of
No. It's very cool. Ghrelin GR cells is going to do that. What's going to inhibit it is something in your lipases called resistin. You guys don't remember that? George is a boss. I mean, like God. If you don't have no idea what I'm talking about, learn type 2 diabetes. Look back on it. You have high 2 diabetes. What do you also have high of? Resistant. Why do you have high resistant? Because fat actually has resistant, right? And that's why he said it's a correlation between being obese and having type 2 diabetes. And we just talked about hypothalamus. We said what's going to make you gobble things up, eat, is ghrelin, GR. What's going to make you stop it is what? Resistance from fat itself. Again, I want to tie these up because we're saying hypothalamus, so I want to tell you what initiates it. Something in your stomach, something in here initiates it, right? Which is what? Ghrelin?
Ghrelin.
What stops it is fat.
Fat.
So it's obviously negative feedback. If I'm getting too big, negative feedback shoots in, I gotta stop being big. Goes up to my hypothalamus, say, calm the hell down, I don't want to eat anymore. Cool. God, why do they have crappy music in this place? Make me angry.
Don't appreciate the jazz?
No, I don't at all. I like classical music. And I just wrote again in my notes. Increased proton causes these cells to secrete somatostatin. Yeah. Again, it's the proton. Again, he will trick you and write something else. He will put like something like hydrochloric acid. You think of hydrochloric acid, what do you think? You think of acid, right? You're like, oh my God, there's so much acid, and I need to calm it down, so I put some somatostatin. Gonna make sense in a second.
So I put some what?
Somatostatin.
Yeah. He could say I have so much hydrochloric acid, you know, and then what do I need to do if I'm not eating? I need to stop that. So I release somatostatin.
That's false.
Rose, I said this 8 times, and if you get it wrong, I will honestly. It's proton. Just proton. Just increase proton. Because what happens when you have proton with parietal cells? Proton goes, hydrochloric acid comes in. I'm not asking you about the process. I'm just saying to you what initiates it. Right? They come. They have a precursor. What I'm talking about is the actual precursor, which is proton. Not the cycle. Again, don't get it wrong. It will make me angry because I said this 5 times. Again, proton. Because you know how easy it could, screw you guys over. And if you didn't even know it, you think of it. Think of acid, and I just explained it to you. It makes sense. That's why I don't want you to get. It will make sense if you run the cycle, but just know that's not how it works. Okay. What 50? This is our gastric mucosal barrier, which I told you before. What is it secreting all day? Okay, nobody listen. I guess we're gonna have to go over it really quickly.
Mucus.
Full life. No.
Mucus. And obviously bicarbonate ion, HCO3 minus. Okay. It's like, okay. It's like scared I'm gonna get a hit or something.
You're on camera, be here.
So the surface lining cells contain bicarbonate ions. Okay. If the lumen of the stomach is pH 2, what did that tell you about the layer is that it's really always neutral at pH 7. Okay. So when proton tries to get into the lumen of the stomach, think of this. Proton is leaving. See how it was leaving? Tries to get into the lumen of the stomach, right? You suck in proton, it binds into what else? No? What proton does as it gets sucked in, now think about this. This is not parietal cells. Get parietal cells out of your head right now. We have proton being shot out. Surface lining cells, what do they have?
Mucus. And bicarbonate.
HCO3 minus. HCO3 minus. If I put a hydrogen in there, what do I make it?
Carbonic acid.
Carbonic acid. See how cool that is? That's cool as hell. Surface lining cells have bicarbonate ion. You put a proton in there that's being shot up all day. What do you just make? Carbonic acid. That's so cool. And guess what that's going to do? It's going to neutralize surface lining from killing itself. Right? Because you remember how I told you before? It neutralized everything by HCO3, right? Bicarbonate ion. The second portion I'm adding to this is with when it hooks up to proton, right? It becomes bicarbonate ion, and now we're happy. So it's the bicarbonate ion hooks up with what?
Proton.
Make
Carbonic acid.
carbonic acid. So our end result is carbonic acid. And the first portion, proton, is being shot up all day. Bicarbonate ion is made for these surface lining cells. Are we good? H. pylori. For the rest of your life, just know it. When you think of a stomach, just think of H. pylori. If stuff goes wrong, H. pylori.
It's on your side.
Okay? Period. Honestly, like no joke. And it's really funny that I'm telling you this right now. My brother is in pharmacy school, and they just did this, and like, I mean, you think this is detail? They went into crazy. He's like, the main thing you need to know in the stomach is H. pylori. They looked at like maybe 20 different ways that H. pylori could screw up whatever. It's pretty crazy. I'm gonna cover like 2 of them, but again, H. pylori. Because when I went to the doctor and I'm complaining of stomach pain, and I'm sure for you, did they tell you they tested for H. pylori? Well, if they didn't.
No, but when my grandmother had an ulcer in January and they tested for H. pylori.
They just they tested. You have a stomach thing? Oh, let's test for H. pylori. It's like a given. Why? Because it's a bacteria, and it's seen a lot because it just goes wrong.
So
Okay,
H. pylori can be the cause of any stomach problem.
You'll see.
Like a
Because you know what it does? What is H. pylori going to do? It's going to hang on the surface, and all day it's going to secrete uraces or urea.